Right, I'm going to start doing.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm going to do the goal. What was it? Oh my god.
Oh,
ESR. That's what I'm doing. Sorry.
oh yeah. Okay.
I've had a mad day. I was going to do a PowerPoint, but I thought I know you all, so I should be all proper. I can talk you through. I think Sarah's done this already. This is a really simple but powerful technique, which I use more than anything else actually in Touch for Health, and it's called emotional stress release. Well, there we go. Just what June needs, what you needed this morning, my lovely.
Oh, that was me bloody mad. Oh dear.
In a stressful times, your brain tends to process in the back of your head, and this is the emotional part of your head. And this technique is holding your forehead, and this part of your the frontal lobe is all about where your ideas are processed. So you can either do 2 fingers and a thumb, and it's between your eyebrow and your.
Not that, me.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to mute you in a minute. You can either hold it like that, so it's between your hairline and your eyebrows, or you can do that. Or if you're doing it to someone else, you just lightly come up. So it's a very light touch. It's not a pressure. But by doing that, it's one of the reasons that when we're in trouble, we do this. And that's how it was discovered. There was a doctor who's working in a mental hospital, and the patients would come in and go, oh, this has gone wrong and that's gone wrong. And they'd all come in and we're all sort of losing their shit. And then suddenly they'd get up and leave, and he hadn't said anything, but they'd all come in and they'd all do that, going, oh, where is me, kind of thing. And then he discovered that these points enable the brain to take that thought process from that emotional heightened state to this where your ideas are processed and your logical part of your brain. So it's as simple as holding on to that. So if you use it in for past stress, say by one of the easier ones or lighter ones I've done, so someone had been an adult had been bitten by a dog as a child, and so you hold this. I stand behind them as a practitioner and hold this and ask them to relive that experience. The important part of it is that if you do it for a past tense, or actually any stress, past stress, is you have to have a safe place. That safe place could be bed, a beach, anywhere else. Hold on, let me just everyone on mute. Oh, it's not working. Oh, never mind. Oh no, why? Because my mouse is broken. There we go. Okay, you can go away now. Close. Okay. So you have a safe place. So for me, it's my bed. It could be a beach. It could be a favourite wood where you go and you feel calm. So if you're dealing with a past stress and you start to get quite agitated because you're engaging with this past stress, you mentally take yourself off into a safe place. As soon as you're feeling calm, you can come back and finish the process. So you ask them for a past stress to relive the event. Let's say the dog bite. How old was she? Where was she standing? And by holding this while she's reliving it in a vivid way, it enables the brain, when it was in panic and stress mode, to then start going, oh, it was fine, and I'm over it now, and it's not that bad. And the brain, works through it. So you can do it for past stress and a present stress. Let's say June this morning with her iPad, and it's all going wrong, or you've just had a crash, or you just had some bad news, or you're about to say go on stage or present something, and you're feeling that stress. You can do that right in the moment as well, and it just calms you down, and you can start to see it in its best form. But that also ties into future stress. So again, if you know the next day you've got an interview or an exam or you're presenting, by holding this and then imagining the event in all its technicolor. I'm wearing the suit. I can see myself walking up to stage. I'm walking confidently. I've got all my notes. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not worried. I can hear the confidence in my voice. People are responding. They're either laughing or asking questions. I'm feeling relieved. I'm now walking off the stage, and I can give myself a big pat on the back because it's, I didn't forget anything. So whilst doing that, whilst imagining it in all its best version, again, and I've done this for myself if I've had to do stuff like this, it just enables the body to come out of that panic mode and that stress mode, and then you find that when you actually partake in the event, that it is pretty much, I mean, it's like a visualization, but the different part is that you're bringing that brain stress in. So we are using that technique in today in a slightly different way. I'm going to unmute you all now. So you've got any questions about that, my lovelies? Oh no, hang on. I am really not quite with it today. Where's my participants? You can all unmute yourself. I can't find the button. Honestly, it's because I'm on my laptop, not my iPad. That's not working.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to unmute everyone, but it's because it's a different controls.
Oh, right. I've unmuted myself.
But excellent, thank you. You're in charge of tech tonight, Jean.
Okay. Oh, yeah, clever.
Okay. So whilst I get my screen ready, actually no, but before I start sharing the screen, does anyone, so I'm going to go around and I want to know what your favourite colour is. So either the colour that makes you happy to look at or that you're drawn to wear all the time, which is just your go-to colour, and if there's a colour that you're averse to that you tend to avoid. So Donna, you're first on my screen.
Favorite colour is cornflower blue.
Beautiful.
And the colour I like the least is red.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Jean?
Mine is lilac, lavender, those sort of colours as a favourite. And the least is, I'd say yellow.
Okay.
Bright yellow, you know?
Yeah. Not the same. Sarah?
Well, one of my favourite colours is bright yellow, and it's always been that. And I'm at different times I'm more drawn to it than others. And actually, when we did this before, I thought I hated red, but since I learned more about red and grounding with red, I've really enjoyed red more, which is strange. So I don't really know what my worst colour is anymore.
Don't worry, you don't have to say, but
yeah,
tonight you'll see. I mean, because I've it's about being aware during the process of what colours you're drawn to, and that's as much to do with the words that are on it, because we're working with the 5 elements as opposed to chakras. So they do, the red in this case is different to grounding because it represents joy, love and hate in this process. But yeah, that's really interesting. I remember you didn't like the red.
Yeah.
Andrea, how about you?
My favourite is red, and my least favourite is like an olivey greeny colour.
Okay, cool, interesting. Thank you. Bridget, I don't think there's any colour you don't like, is there? Apart from black, probably.
Yeah, pink's my favourite, and I would say navy is my least.
Okay. So did you wear that jumper deliberately for tonight, knowing we were doing a colour balance?
No. No,
you're embodying my colour balance.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, I didn't. It was I just literally put the first thing on this morning, and then I'd taken it off because it got hot, and I put it here, and I thought, well, I might need that later. So yeah.
And conversely, I realised I'm wearing no colour tonight at all.
You know, I like to be snuggly.
Right, let's get this out. Can everyone see that? Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It worked. Yeah.
Let's bring my mouse a bit nearer. Okay. So, let's start. Make sure that's comfortable. Hand. Responsibility. Okay. So we work in Touch for Health with the 5 elements, which are the basis of traditional Chinese medicine. And these are represented by their colour and by their nature. So you've got fire. So this is the creation cycle. So this is the nurturing cycle. Fire, which nurtures the earth. Earth, which nurtures metal. Metal nurtures water, and water nurtures wood. And each of these elements, you could write a book about each one. You've got a season for everyone. You've got a taste. You've got a business. You've got a food. You've got a colour. You've got an emotion. It's you know, and I don't know that much about them. I only know what I need to know for Touch for Health, and that you have the emotions that represent each one. So for fire, it's love, joy, hate. For earth, it's empathy and sympathy. Metal is guilt, regret, and grief. Water is fear and anxiety, and wood is anger and resentment. I mean, there are a lot more. You could go to 10 deep, but those are the basically typify what they're about. So you've also got then the grandparent cycle. That's the parent cycle because it's nurturing, and this one is controlling. So fire controls metal, metal controls wood, wood controls earth, and earth controls water. And the reason I'm showing you the directions they go in, because that's we use that in the 5-element balance map, the relationship they have with each other. So each of these, the 5 elements help to balance emotions or pain. Each colour has a vibrational energy that works with the different words in the element. So whilst you're doing this, be aware of any physical sensation in response to the colour or words that I say. I've not had this online yet, but it'd be interesting if anyone has it. So you get tingling, warmth, cold, pain, or butterflies. Don't panic, it'll be mild if it is. And sometimes in most extreme cases, obviously it can bring tears. I've had that before, but that's all part of a shift. In any Touch for Health balance, we look for shifts, and that could be tears or yawning or burping or just tingling. It's just the whole, like any energy balance, it's just the body shifting to where it wants to be. So we've talked about the colours resonating and some irritating more than others. And I have just explained about the ESR. So in this process, when we have each colour sheet come up, we're going to have the negative phrases as part of that colour, which we want to diffuse and get rid of, and we're going to have the positive ones. So as I read them through, if there's one particular phrase, you go, actually, yeah, I do have that in me, and I really want to, get rid of that. When you might look at a whole colour and find there's no words that resonate, but if there's one, that's when you bring the ESR in, and that helps to diffuse either the negative aspect, or if I'm reading the positive, to able to infuse that quality. So if I've got things like peace or calm or confidence, actually I'm not feeling very confident today, so I'm going to focus on that word, and then you look at the colour. It's all one of colour back, so it'll become very obvious in a minute, and you use the vibration of the colour to infuse positive quality or to diffuse the negative. You all know that colour has a frequency and a wavelength, and is we use this a lot in aiming to balance. So we're using with words that we connect with to either diffuse the negative aspects or to infuse the positive qualities. So, like any balance, unless we know where we are, we're not going to know if we feel better afterwards. So we're just going to take a couple of minutes to check in with how you're feeling. By all means, please be comfortable, and if it's easier, shut your eyes. So I'm just going to ask you how you're feeling emotionally. How you're really feeling emotionally, not just I'm fine. I need you to really tap in with what you're feeling. Is it irritation, tiredness, anything to do with self-esteem or confidence, any anger, a feeling full of love, full of happiness and contentment. Try and nail down right here in this moment how you're feeling. And once you start to identify how you're feeling, you need to get in touch with where you're feeling it. If it's happiness, you could be in the middle of your heart center and be bursting with love. If it's a bit stressed or a bit cross, you could be feeling it as tension in your neck, your jaw could be clenched, maybe your hands are gripped, maybe your tongue is not relaxed in your mouth. You're feeling it in your quads or your lower back. So once you've identified whereabouts in your body, really drill down to what that looks like. So give it a colour, give it a shape or a texture or a size. Is it a hard red ball of irritation and anger? Is it a beautiful blue water floating through your stomach and you're feeling easy and relaxed? Again, is it soft? Is it hard? Is it smooth? Is it rough? Really drill down. No judgment, no whys, wherefores, no how am I going to shift it, just acknowledging and being kind to yourself at all times. So whilst we're really connecting with your body, now start to scan your body and think, do I have any discomfort, any physical discomfort? Is there tension or pain? Am I holding myself in a certain way? Is it my lower back from sitting too much? Is it my neck from driving or being on a computer? Is that injury in the knee or the ankle? Where are you feeling it? And then start to again, give it a colour. You could give it a noise or a texture. Is it dull? Is it loud and noisy? Just quietly humming away in the background? Is it a stabbing pain? Or a wandering pain? Your whole body could just feel tense. Again, shape, colour, texture, taste. No judgment. No, where have I got it? No, how am I getting rid of it? Sometimes just the observation in itself is enough to help lessen it. So if either of these issues, the emotional or physical, are what you'd like to shift today, can you think of a goal statement of how you want to feel at the end of this session? Where would you like to be? What do you want to achieve? What words or phrases come to mind? So use a nice I statement. So nice and present, I am, I have. But we're going to have it by the end of the session. So we're going to live in the future. When we use words positively, we won't use things like pain-free. And nothing too generic like, I'm happy. What would happy be? Is happy feeling relaxed? Is happy feeling vibrant and dynamic? Is it calm, confident, flexible? It doesn't have to be anything to do with your emotions or pain. It could be to do with work. And your body starts to know which part it wants to shift. You'll have lots of things you need to deal with, but let's just focus on one today. And when you have that in mind, the words and phrases that are going to come up hopefully will be pertinent to that. And then you can deal with that and shift them. So with all this in mind, I'd like you to assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is rubbish and 10 is fabulous. So how do you feel right now? Again, no judgment. Don't worry, whatever it is. Okay. Right, we're just going to take a nice deep breath. I just want you to come back to me when you're ready. No hurry. Okay. So we're just going to start with our switches, which deal with electrical scrambling in the brain. So we're going to get 2 fingers and a thumb, and we're going to work with the clavicle points here. So it's that little soft dip underneath your clavicles. The other hand that's not going to do the work is going to go in your tummy button. So we have a sort of a neutral touch up here. And we're going to be rubbing these, and you're going to be quite rough, because these could be quite tender. You don't have to do it like that. Oh, my camera's. You don't have to do it like that. I've got quite a large hand, so I stretch. You can just do one at a time, like that if you prefer. Sometimes you are able to focus a bit more. These are all neurolymphatic, so they can be really tender. And if they're tender, that's quite a good thing, because it helps you to shift it. And as you do it, if they're tender, they will start to ease. So again, you're being quite firm. You're not just sort of stroking, you're really rubbing in. And this helps the left to right side of your brain to focus. Then we swap hands. Do it for the opposite. If you want to really compound this by keeping your head still, move your eyes left to right, and that really helps to lock it into the brain. It's like, come on, brain, this is the bit. You've got to sharpen up on your left and right. Okay. And then we do the up and down part of your brain, and we do this by doing the lips. And again, we do 2 fingers. You can either do it that way or like that way if your nails are not too long. We're not grabbing lips, and I can talk when I'm doing it. We're actually pushing onto the gums. So remember, the other hand is on your tummy button, and we're just going to give that a good rub. And again, to really drill that in by keeping your head still, push your eyes up to the ceiling and then down to the floor. And looking up and down to really get that in. Swap your hands when you're ready. I think this is what Jean's iPad needed this morning. Need a bit of switches done. There we go. And last but not least, we're going to do the back to front, and this involves right down your tailbone, your other hand on the tummy. So basically going to the bottom of your tailbone and the top of your bottom. And you're rubbing, you're not rubbing finger on skin, you're holding it firm, you're rubbing your, moving your skin on the bone. Again, that can be quite sore. So again, to really lock it into the brain, if you've got a window nearby, look out the window and look as far as you can away. If not, look at a wall and imagine you're looking through the wall to the view the other side. It's all about the focus being as far as it can be. And then you're coming back into the room and either looking at something that's very close to you or looking, imagine you're looking through the back of your head to the wall behind. Really asking the brain to work. Swap your hands. There we go. So when I've done that with people, I ask them to write down their name before we start, and then do that technique and write it afterwards. And the name always tightens up. It always looks much better. The brain is able to work it all out. So then we're going to do central meridian zip up. So your central meridian goes from your pubic bone all the way up your front and ends on the underneath your lip. So you're going to get one hand or 2 hands, and you're going to run it up very slowly, like you're zipping up a coat, all the way up with intention. I'm going to zip myself up, come away from your body so you don't undo yourself, and again slowly, do what I'm doing 3 times with meridians. So bottom lip, coming away, and slowly coming up. There we go. And then we're going to do the neurolymphatics to go with the central, and these are here. You'd have a seam on a jumper on the back of the head. We'll just take these one at a time. You don't have to hold your tummy button with this one. So again, we're rubbing, so we're starting in the armpit, and again, we're being quite firm. And these again can be quite tender, especially because they're near the lymph of the armpit. We're coming up, as soon as you get to your clavicle, start heading back down again, and really rubbing it. If it's sore, if I was doing it to you, I would annoy you. So that's kind of how, I annoy you anyway, but that's how rough you want to be. So you're not just tickling, you're really, really massaging that. So uncomfortably comfortable. And if it is sore, you will find that it starts to ease. And once it starts to ease, you can then lighten up. And now, to shift. I always yawn. I've been videoing this for a course and I just yawned my way through the whole thing. Okay, come to the other side. Right in the armpit. Working way up diagonally towards the clavicle. And these techniques that we've done so far are sometimes just enough in the morning if you're just feeling a bit out of sorts, just to get you back. Help the body to rebalance. Okay, they all come in pairs. The next pair is the back of the head. So if you just rest, so again, do 2 fingers, So you're resting at the bottom of the skull where it meets the spine, and it's that bit of your skull that just faces upwards. Then you're working about an inch either side of your spinal cord. Okay, you don't have to do them both together. I normally do it one at a time. Fantastic if you've got a headache. If you're not quite sure, especially because this is a single spot, just move around about 1/2 centimetre. As soon as you get to a tender bit, that's the bit you want to be on. Everyone's skull is shaped differently. If it doesn't feel like anything, just have a shift dragging. Where is it? Where is that tension? Where is that neurolymphatic that's holding it all in and is congested? Oh, that's very sore. Okay. Oh, another shift. Oh, there we go. Okay. I've blood in my arm. I'll get a drink. Again, like anything, especially with meridians, shifting all around, so it's really important to drink to get that flow of energy going. Now, normally when it comes to the governing meridian, which is one that comes from your bottom over your head and into your top lip, we do some other neurolymphatics, but because we're doing a colour balance, the way we're going to balance that governing meridian is that it's a bit late now in the evening, but if you can either look out for if the sun sets there and the sun is nice and bright, or if you can imagine a beautiful bright sun that's sparkling on the water. Basically, I want you to visualize bright sunlight. So it actually makes you squint, and that helps to balance the governing meridian. I should know how that works, I just don't. I just know that's what we have to do. I think it's just that bright, sharp light that almost doesn't have a colour. It just helps to get that into place. Okay. So each slide is going to have a colour which represents the 5 elements. And then you're going to have a negative column there and a positive column there. And I'll do one at a time. And they've each got, I don't know, 3 to 5 words. If you connect with that, if you're diffusing the negative, you go, yeah, I'm feeling that, I want to get rid of it. Hold up there. You can hold your head throughout the whole thing if you like, just your arm will get a bit sore. And no one's watching you because everyone's watching the screen, so no one will know what your word is. And just focus on the word, but I've deliberately left the middle of the page blank, so you look at the red and you allow that each colour, the vibration of that colour, to help you do that work. Okay. So the negative aspects we want to diffuse. If there is aggression in your life, that could either be you feeling aggressive to someone or a situation or a thing, or aggression that's being shown to you. Aggression in whatever form that you want released from your life. Do you have a sense of exhaustion? Are you just worn out? Where does demanding come into your life? Are you being very demanding on yourself? Are you being very demanding of others or situations? Or is someone being demanding of you? Or are you starved for attention? Whether that be personally, work, what you're achieving, or acknowledgement for something. Just keep looking at the colour. What do you want to bring in to your life? Is it a freedom to be active? Is it enthusiasm? It could be enthusiasm for life, for work, for a project, for a relationship. Is it enthusiasm you want someone else to feel about you? Do you want a sense of self-sufficiency? Now yellow. It's my least favourite colour in this. Funny enough, we do these twice because we're doing the different circuits, and I'm always much more friendly with the yellow second time around. This one I always find very jarring. So what are we getting rid of? Is there lack of feeling? And again, is that towards someone, towards yourself, towards a work or a project? Is that created from blocked emotions? All of it stuck? Is there an emptiness in your life? Either the emptiness of emotions, or people, or projects, or fulfillment? Where is there emptiness? And are you feeling a sense of isolation? Again, is that an isolation from people? Are you isolating yourself? Do you really want to be out there? And do you feel lightheadedness? What are we going to bring in with the yellow? Relaxation. Are you relaxing enough? Are you finding time for that? How about some calm? Some wonderful cheerfulness, like sunflowers or buttercups. Are you feeling open to the world? And are you feeling inspiring? Do you want to be inspired by something, by someone? Do you want to do the inspiring? You're not feeling it yet. Do you believe you're having reasonable actions and reactions, again, to other situations or people, or just life? And do you want to bring in a sense of exaltation? Focus on the yellow. Hold your ESR points. Bring in those wonderful qualities. Okay, on to white. This is metal. What are we getting rid of? Are you feeling rigid? You get stuck? You could feel physically. You're feeling flexible. Are you being rigid in your attitude, in your outlook, in your approach to someone or something? Or are you feeling sterile? Are you concealing the face, hiding away? You're giving up your own needs when you're doing that. Are you stiff or hiding? In a sense of lack of liveliness? Or are you feeling desolation? So what are we bringing in with metal? The colour of white. You want to be clear and open. You want to be light and bright, just like the white. To be totally pure, uncontaminated and clean. You want to be free to open up. Or do you want a sense of innocence? It's like wiping the slate clean with all of that, isn't it? Almost childlike. Completely uncontaminated by life and thoughts and expectations. You can see everything in its purest form. Let that white, let that cleanse you. Bring in those beautiful qualities. Moving on to blue. What are we getting rid of with blue? Are you feeling worn out? Do you have a sense of fear or desolation? Or are you surrounded by it? Is someone near you being fearful? You find that's affecting your energy. Desolation, very heavy. Very, very heavy energies. Might have touched your life. Let's cleanse that away. Let's diffuse that. Addiction. It could be yourself. It's not just alcohol or drugs. It could be addicted to work. Addicted to sex. Chance. I knew you'd like that, Jean. Sorry, serious. And that's not just you. Is there addiction around you? Are you surrounded by someone who's addicted to substances or addicted to work? Or are you reaching for the unreachable? Sarah, try and just hold the front of your head, because when you do the back, it's going to confuse. That's the emotional part. Bring it forward to the front. Let your brain sort it out. That logical part, get rid of it all. Well done. What are we bringing in with this beautiful blue? Somewhere between that lilac and that cornflower. Inner guidance. Treating to own self. That's the best place to be, being able to trust yourself. Inner voice. Sense of reason and ease that would come with that. You're totally comfortable with that. Coming back to yourself. And a sense of satisfaction. Bring that into your life. Okay, now onto green, onto the wood element. What are we diffusing? Is there stagnation in your life? Or stuck? Is that a thought process? A project? Or a relationship? Work? Family? Wanting to achieve something and you're just not getting there? What's stopping you? Is there an inability to proceed? Inability to follow through? Wood element is all about growth. With spring, everything burgeoning. So what's stopping it grow? What's stopping you grow? What's stopping you growing your project or your relationship or your thought process? What are we bringing in with the wood? Beautiful inner peace. Bring in that inner peace. And originating. Again, starting. Oh, that word, that self-assertion. Imagine that tree growing. A plant coming up from the ground, pushing yourself forward. Here I am, world. I'm growing and you can't stop me. That sense of growth. Bring in those beautiful qualities. Okay, so back to red. So we're now going to do it on the control cycle. So they are the same words, but you'll be surprised that there'll be some words that you've seen, but you've just not connected with, or you've just not seen. And having shifted on the first route round, now that you've shifted something, you're now going to be going, actually, no, I do feel that. I didn't connect with it before. And you will feel differently about the colours as well. So don't just think, well, I've been here, I don't need to do it. You'll find that it's a fresh look. Sort of diffusing with the red, the fire element of love, joy and hate. Aggression in your life. Maybe being a bit aggressive, opinions or your work. It's too much. What's got at ease? Is that bringing on a sense of exhaustion? Pushing yourself too hard? Are you being too demanding? Too demanding of others? Too demanding of yourself? Or are others being demanding of your time? And what's starved for attention in your life? Is that you? Are you doing the starving? Are you being starved? Are you starving other people? Your partners, your children, your friends, your family? What's not getting the attention it should? Is that self-care? And what are we bringing in? Freedom to be active. Be able to do what you want. Go where you want. And that enthusiasm for life, for yourself, for your projects, for work, for family. And have that self-sufficiency. Can you rely on yourself? Are you relying too much on other people? Do you want to be self-sufficient? Are you too self-sufficient? You rely on yourself so much that you're not leaning at all. So a healthy amount of self-sufficiency. So right. Are you rigid or sterile? All these harsh qualities. Are you concealing the face, not wanting to be seen, hiding away? Are you giving up your own needs? Are you stiff? Is there a lack of liveliness, either in your emotions or in you physically, or in your approach to something? There's your sense of desolation. Use the vibrant frequency of white to diffuse those. And what are we going to bring in? You want to be clear or open? Light and bright? Uncontaminated? Pure? And to be free to open up? To be totally innocent? More lovely, fresh qualities. To green, to wood. Have you discovered that stagnation yet? The stagnation in your thought process, in your physical approach, in your physical health. Is your body stagnant? Is there no flow, no growth? Is it stuck? Is there an inability to proceed? Can you emotionally step forward or physically step forward into something? Or are you stuck from doing that? And once you proceed, are you able then to follow through? Or can you not see it all the way through? Use the green, use the ESR. What are we going in, bringing in with that growth of the wood element, that inner peace? Like a beautiful, calm, green field swaying in the wind. Beautiful inner peace. That originating. What's got to start? What's going to be created? Do you want to assert yourself? Taking out the ground. Here I am. I'm growing. And I'm happy growing. I'm happy to be seen. I'm happy to be heard. I ask to be heard and seen. And growth. emotional growth, spiritual growth, mental growth. What is growing in your life? What do you want to burgeon in the sun? That yellow looks quite different the second time around. What are we getting rid of with yellow? Lack of feelings, blocked emotions, a sense of emptiness or isolation that you want to shift, or lightheadedness. What are we bringing in with yellow? Relaxation and calm, cheerfulness, bringing in another world, the solar plexus, Archangel Jophiel, all about play, yellow, open to the world, how we connect, to be inspiring, to feel inspiring, to have inspiring people around us, inspiring words, read them or hear them or watch them, bring in inspiration. Good shift, Bridget. Oh, that you're really tired. Are you having reasonable actions and reactions? Or are you being unreasonable? Bring a little bit of balance with the emotions and a sense of exaltation. Okay, onto blue. Feeling that sense of being worn out yet? Just shift that last little bit. Even if it's just a little bit, if you just connect a little bit. Fear or desolation, that sense of addiction, just getting stuck too much into something that you can't shift off it in an unhealthy way. Now you're reaching for the unreachable. What are we bringing in? That inner guidance, that sea of blue, or a sky of blue. Imagine that inside you. Calm, being able to trust it, being able to retreat to your own self with reason and ease. Knowing there's that trustworthy inner guidance and that sense of satisfaction. To actually know that that's enough. I'm satisfied with that. How I've behaved, with what I've created, with my life, whatever it is. And then back to red. Last time, what aggression are you releasing? What makes you respond aggressively? What gets you cross? Actually, you need to be calm and reasoned. Shift that last little bit of aggression or any sense of exhaustion you have, or that you're being demanding of yourself, of others, or being starved of attention. And bringing in with that fire element, that freedom to be active, that enthusiasm for yourself, for others, for work, for life, and to be self-sufficient. Okay. So now just sit back and again maybe shut your eyes, and we're going to check in with how things have shifted. So connect back to how you felt emotionally at the beginning. What was the emotion that you connected to? How are you feeling and how are you feeling now? Go back to where you felt it in your body. Was it in your stomach, in your jaw, in your neck? Is it still there? Has it shifted or has it gone? Has it changed colour, texture, shape? It's still rough. and physically. That tension in the neck, that pain in the knee, that dull pain, thud in the lower back. What does that feel like now? Is that moved? Is it eased? It's a different colour. Gone from a sharp pain to a dull ache. The shape, the taste. What does that feel like now? Really try and connect into your body again. How we truly feel. We don't do it often enough. Do you remember your goal statement at the beginning? I am, I can, I have. How does that feel now? Does that feel achievable? Does it feel less emotional? Does it feel exciting? And lastly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you grade yourself at the beginning? Were you a 4 or 5? Might be a 7 or 8. And hopefully you've gone up, if you've gone up too. Try and remember and think back, what colours resonated with you? What colours were you averse to? Remember going forward, actually, all the words in the yellow are the ones I needed to work on most. So look at the yellow flowers in the garden. Wear some more yellow. Make friends with the colours that you're not connecting with. If there's certain words or phrases that came up, maybe just be aware of those. Bring them into your life in a positive way. And remember your goal statement, maybe use that as a mantra for the rest of the week. I am, I have, I can. Remember to drink water to help shift this all. And your pre-balance checks that we did, all those neurolymphatics on the front. Okay, when you're ready, come back to the room and unmute yourself. When you're ready, take a big glug of water if you have one. Donna, how did you get on?
Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, still not keen on red, but but no, it was very good. And I mean, and you're right, the yellow, it completely changed the second time around. It was almost orange.
Yeah.
And it does different when you look at the different colours when they come around the second time. It does feel totally different, and like, oh, that I wasn't expecting that, and different words jumped up. I thought I'd read them all the first time, but the second time different ones appeared.
I know. Fascinating, isn't it? How your brain either goes, no, I don't need that, but you can totally resonate on a different level the second time around.
Again, and it was, oh, I'll have that then. Yeah, and I've started at 7, and I finished at 9.
Yay!
So I felt much better. I just had like like butterflies to start with, and then as it's the second time, you needed the checking in, and it was just a lot quite very subtle, but a lot quieter.
Yeah, cool, great, thank you. Bridget, your cat loved that at the end. I was having a
It's Molly, everybody. Little Molly. Yeah, no, that was, I mean, I have done that before with you, haven't I, Marilee?
Yes.
And yes, the yellow changes, but I just yeah, once I started yawning, that was me. I haven't been able to stop. So yeah, I feel as if I'm going to have a really restful sleep actually And it was just, yeah, really interesting, sort of just focusing on the words and, you know, being honest with myself.
It is, and I remember the
you
first
know,
time I did it. It is being honest, isn't it? And actually, it's quite a nice
Yeah,
private
it's-
way of being honest, of being held accountable without having to share.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, even to myself, do I really want to admit that that's, you know, it's that, you know, I think, oh, sake, you know, if you can't do it to yourself, you know, you're on a downward spiral. So it's like, yeah, no, so that was really, yeah, very good. And yeah, I'm hoping my little mantra will come into being tomorrow after my night's sleep.
My internet's making everyone freeze. Sorry.
Okay.
Are you back, Bridgie? There?
Hello. Hello.
Oh, come on in.
Hello.
Yeah, you're all
Hello?
frozen on me.
I can.
There we go. You're back again. Right. Sorry, Bridge.
Yeah, no.
So
that was,
she's interfering with the Wi-Fi.
yeah, stop it, June. So yeah, no, that was very relaxing, Marilyn, very enlightening again. Yeah, with the different colours, and
Good.
yeah,
Yeah, you've done it before with me, haven't you? You've done it before, Bridge.
yeah. No, I've done it before with you because I don't. That first yellow,
Yeah.
I'm not too comfortable with, but this second yellow, I'm a lot more
No,
comfortable
me
with.
neither. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
funny,
too.
but it's one of those things that you can do again and again, and the different things come up, the different aspects, depending on what your goal statement is,
Yeah,
or where you are.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure I'm in a different, you know, a lot different place and different things going on now than when I did it before, definitely. So yeah, so thank you.
Pleasure, total pleasure. Andrea, how did you get on?
Well, I changed to green. Green was the colour that I could resonate with both sets of questions. And I
Right.
said at the beginning I didn't like green.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the red first time around, but I did the second. And the yellow I didn't like first time, but I did the second time.
Yeah.
I went from a 5 to 8.
Wow.
Ooh,
Is that good?
Amazing. Yeah.
Good,
That's
is it?
amazing. Yeah. Like a 3 number shift. Excellent. And it's really hard to describe until you start doing it. And I know when I first did it, it was like, oh, this is just annoying. I didn't quite get it. But then once you get your word, your first word, you do it, and it can really, like anything, like making a goal statement can really kick you there. And it was really emotional. So I do find it's one of the most powerful ones to do.
Cool.
So I'm really pleased you've got it.
I did put down, I made some notes as I was going along, neck and my right knee, but then afterwards I felt something in my throat. Would that be?
Well, that's maybe needing to speak it, or again, you know, the June thing, that throat chakra, it's that restriction of being able to verbalize.
Yeah, June will tell me. June will tell me that.
Truth. Yeah.
Yeah, June will tell me to speak up.
Yeah. But as I said to Bridget, it's a really good way of being accountable without having to talk to someone, because you're having to hold yourself. This is all I'm doing is holding space and reading it. You're the ones doing the work. You're the ones going. I could quite easily ignore the fact of aggression or self-sufficiency or whatever it is. Yeah. You're the one that has to look at the word. You're the one that has to balance that. Yeah. So you feel that you've spoken your truth to yourself, and again, that internal conversation, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, pleasure, my journey. Sarah, how did you get on?
Yeah, good. It was really different to last time. I can't really remember why, but I focused more on a specific thing today, which was really helpful. I really didn't like looking at white for some reason. I don't know why. I quite like white in general, but yeah, I didn't really like it.
It feels harsh suddenly after all the colour, doesn't it? I find it really shocking when it comes to white.
Yeah, it just made me feel my emotions went sort of low as well with white. I didn't do with the words. Anyway, maybe it was.
I think they're the harshest, the negative qualities of white, of metal. Yeah. Every time I come to it, I think, gosh, they're really harsh. But then the positives are so different. They seem the most polar. I think, of the two sets of everything.
Yeah, I tried on the last time to focus only on the words, and it was less. Yeah, it was not not so horrible for me, which is good. And yeah, I feel better because I came in to this meeting feeling really angry and irritated. And I don't anymore. I just feel tired. But that's an improvement, I think. And I feel like I wanted to forgive and let go, and I feel like I can. So that's good.
Well, anger's exhausting to hold on to. So now it's gone, you're just left with that. So we'll do the 5-element emotion next time, which I know you've done, which is really good. So if you're feeling that towards a specific person, and that can be really powerful in helping to shift that. So well done, you've done the work. Well done. But last but not least, I always leave you to last, Jean, so now I get a big whammy.
I didn't get any visitors, so you're
Oh,
all right.
that's all right then.
I'm always quite upset when I'm done.
And then you complain when you do.
I must tell you though, girls, the last time we did something with Mary Lou, I did get a visitor that night, a tall man who was a gardener, all this stuff. He gave me the message. He just walked through this room and it wasn't for anybody that night. And then I saw somebody in here who is on the temple and saw the message, and she said that was my granddad. Even though she wasn't.
She watched the recording, didn't she?
Yes, she did. She watched the recording, and it was her granddad that walked through. So how about that? She weren't even on that night. Spirit knew she was going to watch the recording, and he still turned up. So that's really just a little aside. For me, the white, you're like Sarah, got whiter, if you like, through whoop. The red got stronger the second time. So it was the red and the white. The rest, the yellow was okay with. The green was lovely, which I found interesting. I went from a 5 to a 7. And I think the only reason I was at a 5 was because of the blooming turnout with an iPad all day. And I felt aggravated with it, I suppose, because I just wanted to get that recording out. So it was obviously not meant, and I feel calmer about it now. So, and that was my words. I am calm, and I feel calmer now. Hey ho, I'm back to normal, girls. It's normal in my world.
Thank goodness for that.
Well, I was all 6s and 7s at the beginning as well, but I feel calmer too. Even just being here with you, but then just looking at the colours. And I was, I'm not really doing the work. I'm not processing the words. I'm just reading them. But obviously just watching the vibration of the colour, whatever it is I was feeling, has shifted. That's incredible. But we've talked about this, June, just being in nature, being in trees, being by the sea, looking at the sky. Don't underestimate that vibration of that colour, especially nature, how much that can affect you. Extraordinary, isn't it?
It is. It really affects your mood.
Huge.
And the sun came out here late, didn't it, tonight? And the feeling, it was really lovely tonight.
Oh.
So that, and then your mood lifts anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
We need to get the moonlight. I was saying to Jean, you may not think I'm mad. So one of it was the night, Monday night. When was our tea? Tuesday?
Wednesday we went for tea.
Okay, so Tuesday night, I went out to look at the moon, which is almost full. It's full tonight. And it was cloud and lots of little bits of cloud and then gaps in between. And I looked at it and it was like, I made my son come out and look at it. And he said it's like like Star Wars when they have a hologram and that person's talking, but the hologram flickers and the moon was flickering like that. And I'm thinking, I'm going mad, absolutely mad. Is it because it's behind the cloud? Is it because it's, and I stood for 20 minutes watching it. And I look at the moon a lot and the whole thing, it was vibrating like that. Just weird. I don't know why I said that, but it was about the moonlight, about the white. But Donna, you're smiling. What's that about?
But I mean, the 21st, because we had all that new energy come in, didn't we? and it takes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was the day after the solstice.
Of course.
That's
yes.
what I thought it was. Yes, that's what I
Yeah.
put it down to.
Say it takes 3 days for your body to get acclimatized to it. It's coming.
Oh.
Days. So if you think about it, everyone's having funny days and days that are not quite so good and days that are going a bit bonkers. So we can just blame the moon and the energy in the sky.
It was the weirdest thing. It was absolutely the weirdest thing.
Everything feels different and I can't explain it. It just feels different, and I don't really know how, but it does. It just feels totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
Yeah, I definitely felt. Yeah.
I just sort of last night I was just doing something and I knocked some water over and I just instantly just felt really angry and I had no idea why, and it was just not, it's water, it's not even going to make a mark, and it wasn't like I've ruined something.
Mm.
What's going on? And then I was fine again. So it's really bizarre.
You know what it's
Yeah,
like?
I've had quite extreme.
Yeah, it's extreme. It
Yeah.
goes up. Yeah, definitely.
I've had extreme emotional responses. I told you a conversation that Gordon and I had, and I was sobbing, and we've had just some irritating circumstances today, and again, just extreme. Just it feels very everything's on the surface. Doesn't take much to really, you know, whatever it is.
So, like a roller coaster.
Anger or,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that's really weird because I've done 2 texts to say everything's a bit of a roller coaster at the moment. So I've written that twice in the last
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
You just get up there and then it goes with a bang, a drop.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nothing's constant.
No, it's not at all. No.
hopefully we'll calm down at the end of the week then. Oh, we've got the
Mm.
full moon and the solstice
Well.
out of the way. Can't carry on like that, can we?
I think the energies are going to be around for a while though, Mary Lou.
Are they okay?
Feel it.
Oh, no.
I'll get the tissues out.
Like my body's over there and my head's over there. It's weird feeling when that energy comes. Do you feel like that, Donna? My body's over there, my head's over there. I disconnect.
Yeah, the stuff it's coming up to the surface because it's going up to the storm layer because it has to go up.
Yeah.
It's muted, doesn't it? So it's
Yeah.
like it's. I think it's this year's the last year of the storm layer, so it's like it's the last year that the stuff is all being.
Donna, what's the storm layer? You've got 3 people all looking at you going, what's the storm layer? I don't know if I'm speaking on behalf of Andrew and Sarah, but I can see your faces like mine going, what?
And there's a few other of the Ascended Masters, and what they did, it was a few years back now, they set up a storm layer just up, you know, to start to draw out all the stuff that we don't bring stuff to the surface. So, you know, things like we're starting to notice like how much pollution there is, and we've started to see the truth of what's happening in governments and the truth of relationships we have and all sorts of things, and things that some good, some not so good, but all that stuff has to come up, and all the releasing of like negative emotions, if you know, even past lives. You've noticed lots of people have been clearing past lives and that sort of thing, and it's being drawn up to go up to the storm there, and as it goes up to the storm they pull it, and as it goes up.
Can I just show? This is one of the cards today. That's the storm layer.
Oh wow.
Wow.
See it going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is it's the shape of the Amorite, which is very ancient.
Jean,
Like
this
a
is
water.
a card. This is a card I picked at 7:58.
Let me put my glasses on. Hang on. Hold it up. Oh,
Smoke and
wow.
mirrors. I know,
Look
look at
at that. Yeah, the smoke and mirrors.
that. So that's
And
all about smoke
that-
and mirrors.
There's a lot of smoke and mirrors.
And I picked that for tonight, and I thought, well, because I'm late, I won't read it out. But there we go. I didn't know if it was going to be relevant.
Smoke gets in your eyes.
Look
Yeah.
at that. That is that, isn't it? And look
So
at the
what
energy
happened-
going up.
Yeah. I love that
That's
card.
why the archangels and the seraphim, which we talked about the other day, didn't we, Donna? The seraphim.
Yeah, it's you've got Seraphiel and Seraphina, so they're sort of come closer to us now because our energy is rising up as we're clearing stuff. But they're now connecting back into Earth. So anyone that wants to invite them in, you can invite them in, ask them to come, and ask them to connect. Okay, so the dog's talking to me now. Just ask them to anchor in, and you can say you can anchor into me, or you can anchor into where I live and bring their light in. So you just ask, because they can connect now, and then they help us ourselves, but also the whole of the planet to lift its vibration, because they can come.
So what happens to the storm layer when all that stuff that goes up? Do they then take the storm layer away?
Storm layer, you've got like Master Merlin, who's an alchemist, isn't he? So he's alchemizing that the negative, and it's been turned into love. So if you think about it, it's coming up, and then as it's coming up and being pulled up, it's being turned into love. Sorry, I'm gonna have to let the dog out in a minute. She's but it's like, to me, I just see it as like some kind of like a whirlpool sucking up all the stuff we don't want, and as it goes through and out the other side, it's turning it into something positive. So it's turning it into love, and this is the last year for it, because there's so much needed to be pulled up. And then as it goes, into next year it will be gone, but next year we then start the next lot of challenges.
Oh, excellent. We haven't had enough, Donna.
I just want to show you this, because
Oh,
look with the
bloody
bird,
challenges.
you ain't seen nothing yet. See this? That's it being going up for the violet flame to dispose of it. See the colour? This was another card pick for today. See the colours? The violet is about the transformation.
Yeah.
And it's the blue Archangel Michael taking it up to dispose of it. You know, when we do the healing, when I do the healing, Donna does it too. I have a bucket with the violet flame in it, and cutting cords and getting rid of nasty energies goes in the violet flame. So they are doing it as well. We do it here, they do it there. I'll post those cards tomorrow, hopefully.
God, that was fascinating. Much more fascinating than my balance.
Yeah, sorry, took over again.
No, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm not taking you at all. It's just
I've got
information.
nothing wrong with my throat chakra, have I? That's for sure. Oh, Donna now, she's on the case.
No, I think that's fascinating. I'm sort
And
of loath to ask Donna what next year's challenges are going to be.
Yeah, oh no.
I thought you were going to say, once the storm layer's gone, it's all going to be fine. Everything's going to go away. It's like, no, you've got more challenges coming. It's like, what the hell?
Look at them as growth.
Oh, all right then.
Just think about growth.
I'll be 8 foot tall by the end of this, June.
Well, I believe no I am. 4 foot and a fart.
Donna, bring me some good news, not doom and gloom. You've got to ameliorate that, what you just said.
It's just clearing stuff up ready, because we're getting ready for 2032, aren't we, which is the age of Aquarius.
Right, so how old will I be then?
Okay, and what's happening in 2032? You say this like we all know, Donna.
Yeah.
Um,
We're like kindergarten.
2032 is the new age for Atlantis, so it's the age of Aquarius. So
I thought that's what we've just started, wasn't it?
Yes.
We've started the 12 years of that, have we?
no, it's actually been we've been starting this new age for 10,000 years.
Oh,
So-
my Lord.
Aquarius, Atlantis, well, really, Atlantis itself has only just finally closed and finished all the stuff. And then we're starting again, building up the new one. And so the age of Aquarius. So what's happening now? All the children that are born now have no karma, and the majority of them have never incarnated on earth before. So all of us are very special beings. We've all been chosen to be here now. And all of you that are here tonight, because you're all here tonight doing the things that you're doing, you're all here building the foundation stones for these new children that are coming in, that are going to then be the future for the next golden age. And it's when we step in back into who we are, because we are all walking masters. We have all got amazing powers that we have no idea about. And it's not just June, you know.
No.
It's every single person, everyone. We've all got a most amazing skills and gifts that the majority of us may not have any idea we've got, but everyone's got gifts, everyone. And we're all we are walking masters. And when you realise that the ascended masters look at us with great awe, and the angels are so delighted to be able to help us. And if you ever get a chance, I think you can only read it on PDF. There's a most beautiful channeled conversation by the 7 archangels that was done in the 1950s, when talking to angels was just not a thing. And there was a medium, and I think it was in America, and I think it's called Beloved Archangels Speak. And it's lovely, where each of the 7 known archangels at that time gave a message, and it was channeled through a medium, speaking to us, and all of them said how honoured they are to be able to actually help us. And we tend to think, oh, angel, whoa, but they're actually thinking, oh,
I channeled something like that, didn't I, Mary Lou? On the podcast.
Can't remember which one.
Us, them, the angels using our energy. That was the channel, wasn't it? Yeah. Which, you know, even we was really blown away by that, weren't we? The podcast is on the website.
I can't remember which one it was or what it was pertinent, but it was yes, them taking our energy, because they can't. We were talking about this on the other day at tea, weren't we?
Yeah.
They can't come down to Earth, so they rely on us to create the energy because it's too dense down here, and then we create the energy and they take it and then spread it around where it's needed. It was like, yeah, hang on, we need the angels, not the other way around. And to suddenly realise that they needed us was that absolute jaw dropper, wasn't it?
I went, what?
Well, next time you're sitting at home and you think to yourself, oh, I wish I was as good as so-and-so, or I wish I could do that. Just remember that you're a walking master yourself, and you have most wonderful gifts that, you know, there's things I can do that you might not know how to do, but there's things you can do that I don't know how to do. So
yeah,
we've all got these amazing talents, and it's just a really, for me, I know it's challenges, but I see it as exciting, because, you know, I'm just like, what am I going to find out next? What's around the corner? You know, you go over that next little challenge, and then suddenly it's like, whoa, I didn't know I could do that. Or I didn't know about that, you know. So I'll have to get off my soapbox now, because I can talk.
No, I could listen all night. Just amazing. Yeah. My little head's going, no, not true. I can't do that. Donna's amazing.
Because you've all got really skills and gifts.
After my lovely reading with the other day, I know.
You know, you really
humanness is hard to get out of the way, isn't it?
It is. It's getting the old system and all the things that we've been conditioned with, clearing those to realise that actually that we have no limits. We can be whatever we want. You know. That's
I have to podcast you. Done. I want to find out where your aha moment was. That was my next question. That's fascinating. Another day, another question. Time is 9, guys. You're all going to be asleep by the end of this.
I feel better now. I feel awake.
Excellent. Right, gonna have a cup of tea, Jean. I know it's what you want.
Why did she say that? As if.
Right, thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Donna. It was massively enlightening. I love that. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.